where they can violate all rights and you are a part of the corporation because you're staying there. So in other words, it's how to remove the case. Once you remove the case, then you can prove all of that stuff that they're violating your rights.
That's right.
But she's going around telling people I'm over here scamming people, and I think that's the worst.
You know what? You're not doing that. So I would address it, but again, I wouldn't worry about it too much because at the end of the day, everybody's not going to agree with what I'm doing, what you doing, what she's doing. You know what I mean? So, and then some people,
I wouldn't be you shouldn't be little people.
That's true. I agree with you. You should.
Small-minded of her.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I agree. I mean, look, I'm quite sure you will hear some shit that Travis said that I didn't even say. I'm quite sure I hear some shit that you might have said that you didn't even say. You feel me? So
the biggest thing though, everybody don't know these people until you give them grounds to be known. Like, I don't know who these people are until you mention them on your platform. So don't even mention them. Don't even give them back.
People bring it to me. You would be surprised. I'd be on the line, the phone be ringing. My business line ring with somebody telling me what she's seeing on her line. I really don't. I'm gonna say it like I feel it. I don't give a fuck less about the bitch. Nah, I said it.
She is not the only one.
I really don't care. Cause I get tired of hearing that shit. Don't slander my name when you don't know how to do something. Go find you something else to do.
She's minor. There's like 2 or 3 major cats out there slandering your name who are no good. Scammers and fake gurus pirating your.
Yeah, slander whose name?
Yours. They're like, I give you a whole list. I sent you a whole list. Sure, no.
Somebody else sent me a list too. Somebody, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I wouldn't be too worried about it. Listen, you're doing a good job. I like what you're doing. I come through and listen to you. You've allowed me on your panel several times. I have gotten a few people that I was trying to aid and assist. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day,
this is what's funny. You know, she done been on my panel.
Yeah, I know. I seen her on here a few times.
Thank you. My point. So why you coming over here, getting on my panel, and she told somebody they had words. She told somebody that's my friend. Really?
Niggas gonna be let me take that.
You need to take your class and be quiet.
Yeah, right.
But don't worry about that. You alright with me. If you alright with Trav, you alright. Period.
Okay, thank you. You all.
Travis, that part.
You alright with Trav? You alright. I got horror stories. You hear me? I done came on your show several times. I done had horror stories with people out here, these so-called gurus. I had horror stories with them, and I done gave them a lot of money. But you know what? Where I'm at right now, I chalk it all up to it was a part of my path of growth. You know, because if they didn't do what they did, it wouldn't have prompted me to do what I had to do to get to where I'm at right now. And I still got a long way to go, but it's beautiful now. I can laugh and joke a lot better. Back then, I was bitter. I'm like, damn, this nigga just took what for me? Man, I gotta find this dude. I gotta find her, and I gotta get, you know. But now I don't even look at it like that. I'm just like, you know what, man, take that lick and keep on.
Count it all joy and take accountability. Get your hips somewhere and sit them down and figure out the part that you played in it. Because they didn't take nothing from you. You gave it. You volunteered it. So
that's true.
That was so bad, 100%. Yeah. Because what happens when the payers feed into this, you keep feeding the fucking beast.
Yeah.
And that's what the people who allow themselves to be scammed, they're just as much a part of the problem as motherfucking scammers. So knock it off, sit down, take accountability, allow yourself the grace and love to figure some shit out on your own. You don't have to be represented when your ass is present. Get your mind and your body aligned. And quit blaming everybody else for your shit. You're the problem. Nobody took nothing from you, you volunteered it. Right. That's what the whole system is set up on, is a bunch of presumptions.
Right.
Hey, Roger, what's your background?
Divine life, baby.
Yeah, because I'm new here, so I'm just learning everybody on the panel, and you stand out beyond everybody, by the way. So, jailhouse / sheriff's store right here. What is an aerospace engineering corporation doing? You know, being located there. Well, racketeering, embezzlement, laundering, and RICO, so forth, you know. and it's not county or state. It's international and federal. So a lot of it's under in-cage codes, which are NATO cage codes also. You'll find a lot of those. We're being traded all over the world, many different ways. All these warehouses / jails and prisons.
Right. So when you correlate the interviews, will either have deers in headlights or pretend.
Yep, and you can also go to Emma, and you'll have to look at, for example, there's like a time span. So they usually just like in little intervals. You got the case, the year, and there's the CUSIP numbers that are going to be on there too for the actual case. So there's several different ways they're doing it, and it's all going to the CAFR / what they now call the ACFR, ACFR, in which they're bypassing the SEC, and you can get them on those violations because none of them have a license to for these securities to begin with. It's all one big monopoly.
Right. These courts don't have a license or permitted to sell securities. They have permission to sell your name, your likeness, your whatever, your identification, social, and convert it into an instrument for unlawful enrichment.
Yeah, especially in cases like, for example, when they take you to jail and you're forced to get somebody on the outside to come in with a bond, and you got to think about it. These are warehouses, like I said, the jails first and foremost, and then you can't bond a living soul. So the bonding of product as vendors, we are the products that they're warehousing in these jails, and they're claiming, for example, that a bond's being written up, they monetize it, and then it goes further with the CUSIP numbers and everything else. Committee on Uniform Securities.
Yeah, they buy treasury bonds.
Yeah, so before it becomes a treasury bond, they bond it within the court system itself through the CRIS system. And SF, what was it? SF, what's the one, Sean? SF, bid bond, performance bond, the appearance bond.
Payment bond, yeah.
Payment bond.
Bid bond, payment bond.
Someone asked, does that apply for probation?
Of course,
Sure
they're a
does.
third-party entity, really.
24 and 25 and 25A.
SF 24,
Right.
SF 25, A, B, SF 90.
Mhm.
What's the other one?
Also, definitely look up the 90 and 91.
Yeah, the 90 and 91. Some start with the S's and some start with the S's and Sam, F and Frank, standard form. Others are GSA.
Yeah, what? General Service Admission.
Right.
And this is what they've done on the burst too, by the way. So and GSA bonds to put it out, in an understandable way, is where they do construction bonds, basically. So they're doing the burst on these GSA bonds also. The male, for example, inserts the semen to the woman, and she is with cargo. They're constructing this whole little fictional facade here. Yeah.
Okay.
Did y'all, is the talking about that?
Honestly, Honestly, I'm looking to, I've been studying for about 2 years now, and I'm getting a lot more familiar with like the criminal and the civil procedure and things along that nature. And I was watching some videos on Derek Gonzalez, and he had mentioned about the CRIS system, the CAFR system, and the bonds that they're creating. And I'm trying to see if that would be the better route to go to expose them in order to get a probation violation dismissed. My ultimate goal is to get a probation violation dismissed.
That's a hard call. You could do away with the, go for the JID bonds. There's several different steps in that to go through. Wrap one side around too.
It's just the presentment of it all. If you want to present it by exposing them to erase and to settle or remove the violation or the probation violation, place it in an affidavit and just call an affidavit. You don't have to call an affidavit of fact because it's all facts with a motion to, or a writ, W-R-I-T, to dismiss, writ to resolve, or to, what's the word I'm looking for? Writ to expose and to resolve the probation violation that harmed you. So you have the issue, the argument, the intent, and the law they broke, and the conclusion. What conclusions you want from it? What's the outcome you want from it to expose it? And then And what I do for the past 10, 15 years, I actually have a separate sheet, like an attorney would, or a paralegal, a separate document, one pager, where it's an order that the clerk of the court signs or the judge signs. So you make up your own order. Like if you say what they did, you just said they violated a probation regulation or rule, you said?
No, me.
No, they have him on probation, and the thing about it is you have to watch out for is them violating you. And
exactly.
Back into the system, I get it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm trying to completely do away with the probation, not just the violation, but the probation itself. The first way I was thinking of it was I did a lot of research into the 14th Amendment, the slaughterhouse cases, Bradwell versus State, Ellen von Valkenburg versus. I forgot the second part of that case, but basically the U.S. citizen part of it and how that does not apply. It's not a state citizen, that distinction between the state and the U.S. citizen. And I was thinking that would be, originally I thought that would be the best way to squash everything and get out of the system completely, because then they don't have any jurisdiction. I'm basically looking for the best way to get out of everything, the simplest and easiest way. And I wasn't sure if the U.S. citizen would be the better way to go, or if the CRIS, basically their unjust enrichment through the CRIS system and the bonds that they're creating, if that would be the stronger way to go. Because the thing I don't want is I don't want to go back into the system, back into the warehouse. You know what I mean? Then they're done. I'm over it. I want to fight back.
Yeah, and like I said, I've done many things. Like I've even shown from the post office, for example, how I'm not a U.S. citizen, and so many other things. They don't give a shit these days. They're just running rogue.
That's not
So
true,
it's got
man.
to take it to a higher power.
It's about administration.
If it's not true, then the things
It
that I
is
put
true.
in, then
It can
why are they
administrate
just
over your
running
ass.
amok?
That is your ass, dude. I'm telling you.
Right.
When you end their administration, there is no more. They cannot do anything.
Coach
They have not ended their administration.
says they use the Bible to get rid of probation. Kosher kept
They know that.
Kosher kept to come up. Kosher kept, can you come up?
Really, the probation is a bill of attainder, so you can fight that both ways. You can expose forensic human trafficking, how they traffic your name through the CUSIP, the CAFR, the comprehensive annual financial retirement report, or you can do it for Chris.
The probation is basically it's claiming they're a third party that is, basically like a servicer for the courts, to collect the money.
Yeah, that's a bill of attainder. So that's a violation right there. Not only your 14th right, but also the right.
It's also a taxable event.
Yeah, the taxable event is peonage. I think there's a peonage act you can cite.
Okay, now now I get the 1099-R is what connects the judge to the unjust enrichment that they're getting from the performance, the payment, and the construction bond. I believe is what all three of them are for the bonds that they're creating. But now is like, how do you go about basically putting that on the record for the 1099-R, which proves the unjust enrichment through those bonds?
Well, the 1099-R, I'm not even sure about that, to be honest with you. I've heard file everything you can think of, file a 1099-A, file a OID, and all kind of different shit,
Okay.
Let me, can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
Just say this. This is how I just helped a person with child support, right? So it's something not similar to yours, but still under the jurisdiction of that administration, court, whatever has. Is it a federal or a civil? Is it in the lower courts, your probation?
To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. I believe it's just I believe it's just state court right now.
Okay, so it's you. You're on probation, right?
Correct.
Okay, so this is what I did for a guy on child support, and without saying too much, but I'm gonna say just enough. So first, what we did, because you say you want to get out the system, or what have you. Well, what we did was set up a trust. Once the trust was set up, we recorded it with the county recorder's office. And then we put the IRS on notice. We put the Attorney General on notice, and we put the Social Security Administration on notice to their headquarters in Maryland. So once they were on notice, and there was some paperwork that go along with a copy of your trust, so on and so forth. Once they're on notice, like the gentleman just said earlier, everything is a taxable event. All the different bid bonds and performance bonds, I don't really go into all of that. What I do is pull the QSIP on the case, and that just shows that without alerting the IRS. So we acquire that abandoned property, which is, that was acquired, then it was bartered with the IRS. So let's say, for instance, your case was a $10,000 bond on there, but they give you a reconnaissance bond, which means you didn't have to come out of pocket per se and give them any cash. So that $10,000 that was placed on the A99online.com, it only allows you to take back only 24% amount. So that 24% of that amount will be $24,000. Put that in along with some other documents now with you, and you send it to the clerk of the court. So now that they know that the IRS is coming, the IRS is going to liquidate that account. So with that QSIP is showing the proof that they did monetize, securitize that account, that case number, and you are tied to it. So that means you're entitled to benefits from that account. And
because they're all pooled and bundled.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pool. So the QSIP is a pool.
It's not just your case.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a pool.
A ton of them, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pool. Like, I've done it so much time. Like I said, I just helped a guy out with his child support. He had 3 different child support stuff going on. Everything together and sent it to the courts. We sent. They closed the case out. And it's just like that. So once they know that they've been caught, I'm not gonna. One of the things is so many different processes out here to use that I'm not gonna. A lot of them are good. They work. I just choose not to go through the headache of the rigmarole back and forth in these courtrooms. Writing them and doing the administrative process and waiting for a response. I don't even waste my time with all that. I just let the IRS go. I let the IRS go handle it. So once we put them on notice, and we put our paperwork together and send it to the clerk of the court, Within 30 days, the case is closed down. And if you got probation, it's going to be just that simple. But you got to have a felony. Go ahead.
Okay, so now my biggest concern is now if incarceration, I don't want to get to the point where my hands get tied with incarceration, you know what I mean? I don't know if anyone's been in jail before, but as far as getting any kind of resources to fight back in jail, it's very difficult. You don't have access to obviously a lot of
you have to depend on the third party outside. Right.
So wait,
Is this a felony or a misdemeanor?
It was felony probation.
did you violate it or something?
Correct.
Oh, okay. So you're trying to hurry up and get certain things in. So, and how long do you got?
Without saying too much, let me just kind of say it's up in the air.
Yeah,
So within another week, roughly. It could be another week. Yeah, you're not gonna have enough time to put all your stuff together because you gotta. I mean, if it was me, let me say it like this: if it was me, today is Wednesday. Say I had to go to court next week Thursday. I can speedball stuff because I know what I'm doing, but it still wouldn't be enough for me to kind of wiggle up out of there. You know, what I would do is what I have done because I've been to jail a few times. I mean, that's what got me into this position of learning this stuff. So what I did when I was fighting with them once upon a time, which was probably a few years ago, I put the paperwork in, but I still was missing some pieces. So I went to court and I asked them for a continuance. Now you're on probation, so they may or may not grant that to you. You know, but yeah, that's a sticky situation because I don't want to say, well, yeah, they're gonna have to do. I don't want to do that to you. I'm not gonna even put that out there. But yeah, when you're pressed for time like that, it makes it a little bit different. Like if you had like a 30 days. You can definitely get this stuff done.
Let me put it this way: I'm not necessarily pressed for time, but I am, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't want to say too.
You would have to, like I said again, you'll have to move a little fast with it because the hardest part of the process I'm telling you about, the hardest part about this is actually getting your trust recorded, and that's not even hard. Like, it's really not hard, but that's the hardest part of this process is getting it recorded. You get certified copies, and then you put the different agencies on notice. The IRS, you can pretty much fax the stuff over to them. Your attorney general in your state, you can mail him or her a copy. That takes like 2 or 3 days to get to them. And then the Social Security Administration in Maryland, you can mail it out to them. It takes what? If you send it, I don't usually send my documents USPS. I send it FedEx because that's private. FedEx, UPS, and DHL, those are private carriers. So I usually send my documents through FedEx, and it gets to them in 2 to 3 days. You know, and I pay like what, $11 or something like that. So it depends on you how you're moving, and so on and so forth. But it's a very solvable and beatable. I mean, let me stop saying the word beatable. It's an easy matter to deal with. I mean, like I said, it's simple. And then on the back and reverse side of that, now you got funds or beneficial interest is coming back your way. Because once you do that 1099 online, once you do your A's and B's online with that matter, yeah, you can go and file a 1040 and get that money. You know, once it shows up on your IRS transcripts, you can definitely do a 1040. And if you've already done it, just say if you've done it already for this year or last year, you can just do an amended and get that. It might take a little, you know, so it's an easy, man. I mean, for me, you
gotta look at certain things too. If you're doing the accounting, for example, too, the time they had you in there, and so forth, they had you in what, a uniform, right? You're one of their employees while they had you in there. Now, if you look on those kiosks and so forth, you'll notice the commissary is under trust. It said, "Here's how much you have left in your trust." So it's like, wait, they're creating a trust right there on the commissary and so forth.
Oh, it's a lot of stuff you can notice with them. Like I said, if you want a win that's not complicated and you want to get right to the point, like I said,
I just want to squash it.
Yeah, you want to get it out the way. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So, if it were me, let me say it again. If it were me, I would set up a revocable living trust. I would put the IRS on notice, Social Security Administration on notice, my state's attorney on notice. Once that's done, then I would 1099 that. I would get a QSIP for the case number. You know, you go through whatever broker to get that. I mean, I have a broker that I work with, so I get the QSIP number on the case, and then I fill my 1099s on it. That's it. Once the 1099s, once that's filed, no, well, that's not it. That's not it. I take that back. Once the 1099s are filed, and then I put the other paperwork in, and I send it to the clerk of the court. Okay, so
You're basically just claiming all titles, rights, and interest on that bond agreement.
that's correct. Once they see what's going on, because now you've just pretty much told on them. So what they're going to do is they're going to hurry up and get that case out of their files. So that's why they're going to close it out. And like I said, this isn't something that I'm guessing.
Securities fraud.
Yeah, definitely securities fraud. So this is not nothing that I'm guessing. This is something that I've actually done several times. So yeah,
All these courts are not mandated under Congress. They've got no right to even be in operation.
I mean, there's a lot of things that they're doing that's illegal out here. We know that. But I don't even, like I said, I'm not here to argue with them. I don't even go into all of that with them. I just do the paperwork, get the IRS involved. Because once the IRS is involved, it's a slam dunk win every time if you do it the proper way.
Yeah. Do you send this? Do you send it to the IRS, the Criminal Investigation Division, CID?
You can, but usually when you're putting them on notice, they have a form that shows what state you're in and what office that you send your documents to. You know what I mean? So whether it's Ogden or it's what's the other two spots? It's like 3 different spots. So yeah.
Yeah, because on the identity theft thing, I've been waiting on some shit from like 500 something days or some shit. It's insane. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's just an easy way, like I said. You have to deal with that matter.
The reason why I was looking at that part of it, the security fraud part of it, is I don't want to get into the situation where I go into court and then I have to basically bicker back and forth with the judge. And the way these judges are now, they don't care. They're just going to overrule you and say, oh, whatever. They're just going to put it right back.
You can't overrule that paperwork. I've been in courthouses where I've been literally, if I ever could have a recording of me in court within the last 5 years, I would sit back and laugh at a lot of that shit. I literally used to go in the courtrooms and argue with judges and then get thrown in lockup afterwards. You know what I mean?
You know, funny thing I noticed too is
in the
that
courtroom.
Yeah, I mean, that was when I was young and dumb. I don't do none of that no more. I mean, my stuff is a slam dunk every time. I don't even, like I said,
I don't have any experience in the courtroom either, so that's the thing. I've been doing a lot of studying on it, and I'm feeling pretty confident now to where I could hold my own, especially like as far as like knowing when the judge is practicing from the bench or knowing the basic procedure of how it's supposed to hit.
always practicing from the bench.
Forensic has the process that she pretty much moves cases out of the state courts and put it in the federal where they don't have no kind of arm and legs to stand on and move with. But that's another process. But like I said, what I do is just basically I take myself out of the fight. That's my piece. That all caps in, that's my piece to use on the chessboard. And I make the distinction when I set up that trust. The distinction is made within the verbiage of that trust. Right. And that's why I put the IRS on notice and everybody on notice. And then, like I said, I go a step further from there. I don't want to say too much on this platform, but I go a step further from there, and I copyright and trademark that mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do all of those things. So now, like I said, the IRS is just going to give me my beneficial interest. You know what I mean? And then that makes a distinction. So anybody that's using that name now, that fee schedule is enforced even more so. But like I said, that's a conversation for a private matter. But that's just a symbol of how if it were me and I had probation, I would deal with it and get it out the way. And I'm talking about if it was me doing it, I would have everything done and set up within a week and a half, a week roughly. I'd have my trust recorded. My EIN for the trust, I'll put everybody on notice as far as faxing and mailing it out, and then doing my 1099s like 4 or 5 days later. Getting a QSIP, of course, on the case, and the guy that I use, he has my QSIPs done in like 2 days. So I just get my 1099s and done with that, and that's it. I send everything.
Where'd you get them from?
Huh?
Where'd you get them from?
I got a guy that I use. He's a broker. I've been using him now for about I want to say about 4 or 5 months, but the group I was with, they've been using them for way longer than me. I just got a direct link with him. So yeah, he just charged me like $300 for a CUSIP, and I get it and put it in there and do what I got to do. Yep.
Oh wow. Okay, so he charges twice as much as because we get it through Fidelis through the Bloomberg terminal.
Yeah, that's well, I'm not sure where he gets it.
You can get it from CUSIP.com for about $400.
But CUSIP.com, yeah.
Oh no.
Don't you have to have a account?
I have one, so I'm not sure exactly. Hey, Wizard, how you doing? Hey, Aries, this is here. I have one, but I use the broker dealer,
Right.
and that's how my stuff got processed. I don't want to talk too much over here because
Yeah, exactly.
it's private.
Let me ask you a question, Travis.
Mm-hmm.
We pull the CUSIP numbers through a different terminal that shows the performance of the CUSIP that's related, tracking that court case. They're not submitted to expose them that they're doing unlawful enrichment.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole purpose of having CUSIP. That's just your right. That's the record. That's the record to show that they're, yeah, exactly.
That's the projection. It shows the funds they're in, the charge.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it shows the number, it shows the symbol, the symbol. Yeah, everything. Exactly. Yep.
So this is an alternative to the usual CUSIP number where you have that red arrow going up and down. That little piece of paper with the red arrow. That's all I'm going to say about that. So we have a way of, we don't pull the CUSIP where it shows the red arrow and T-roll price or whatever fidelity where it comes from with the symbol, that one pager. We pull it where it actually shows the forensic performance of it actively. And I just print it out, put it as an exhibit, say, hey, here you go, what's going on? Just like what you're doing, but I don't put the trust in there too. See, you put the trust in there. Now I might do that too. Might just follow my declaration of trust accounting, and then move from there, because that's a very efficient way of doing it. So you put them on notice with the CUSIP unlawful enrichment, as well as having the trust set up and putting on notice.
Now, the only concern I really have with all of this is, again, without trying to say too much, throwing up any red flags. Because like I said, I have time, but I have all the time in the world, we'll say. But there's a probation violation that needs to be dealt with. And I want to do a process that is not going to throw up any red flags, but something that I could probably send in to the court or the clerk that would squash the whole matter before anything popped off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you want to avoid. You want to reduce your risk factor of retaliation. That's what you want to do. You're concerned with the risk factor. The risk. There's always risk, but if you have the time, if you're able to can get like some type of time, buy some time, you could actually get this done, either through Travis' way or through, what Sean and I have been doing. Just put that paperwork in properly and put them on notice that. The basic thing is this: you telling on them that they are, running game with your straw man, and you are reporting them to the IRS for unlawful enrichment, and you want to see this discovery of this. Why are they doing this and not reporting it to the IRS, or their failure to report it to the IRS?
Okay. All right. Okay.
And those cage codes also show, like I said, that they're operating basically federally and internationally too, in so many ways.
Now, when you start sending off all this paperwork to these different agencies, as far as getting, say you get a trust set up or whatever method that I choose to go with this, basically just exposing the unjust enrichment, there's going to be paperwork and documents to have to be sent to some of these agencies. I know it's probably going to take a week or two to get it all set up. I don't want to have the first piece of document get sent out and something get flagged, and then I'm not able to complete the process.
Well, there's a lot of things to this. Like I said, the International Organization Immunity Act of 1945, every corporation was put under the United Nations, right? And all courts, obviously, were also put under the jurisdiction of the United Nations. And you can look up Title 22 CFR, Foreign Relations with Oath of Office made by public officials to the United Nations. And under Title 8 USC 1481, all these ones who take these supposed oaths, judges, prosecutors, court clerks, and policy enforcers, and so forth, they have forfeited their signature, their citizenship via the oath of office, thus becoming foreign agents. They're required to register under the Foreign Sovereign Immunity Act, which there's a huge fine on that. I think it went up to $250,000 now. And also under the International Treaty Series 881, Convention on Duties and Rights of the State placed all state citizens foreign and making all courts international courts, which are foreign to the people. So they have to have also a valid international contract on file for every court case that they have, and they never tell us any of this shit. And we have to call their asses on it. Which one?
Both of them, actually. I could write that down real quick.
You can look up one of them. It's the International Organization Immunity Act of 1945. And you can reference Title 22 CFR, Foreign Relations with Oath of Office made by public officials to the United Nations. Another one's under Title A USC 1481. The International Treaty Series 881, Conventions and Duties and Rights of the States is another one. I mean, it just goes on and on. This is all you got to realize whenever they take us in from any of these things. It's kidnapping, it's abduction, it's RICO, racketeering, obviously, same goes with it, racketeering, RICO. So the thing about it too is contractual wise, they're forcing these contracts. And everything contractual wise has to be voluntary. Nobody realizes this shit. You volunteered to put yourself in jail. No, I didn't. I didn't sign any contract, and they still go on, It's so many different things. You can get them with every damn thing. They're just running a monopoly scam on us.
Yeah, now the thing that I was thinking of with the consent part of that was with the probation. Now, there was the consent with me agreeing to the probation from the original order, from the original judgment. Now,
was it under a plea deal or what?
Yes, it was. It was under a plea deal.
Excuse me for 1 second. There's somebody down in the panel that wants you to repeat something, and Parker O'Neill, come up right quick because he keep putting it in the.
Probably wants to
Come up.
He probably wants to repeat the international citations that Sean just gave off. All four of them. I think that's if I'm correct.
Yeah, like one is the International Organization Immunity Act of 1945. Placed all courts under the jurisdiction of the United Nations. You can look that up. Also, Title 22 CFR, Foreign Relations with Oath of Office made by public officials to the United Nations. See, they have several different oaths they're taking. They even have a Masonic oath underneath. That's the big one. Their oath to their little Freemasonic lodges before they do any one. You got to realize these people are operating under Chapter 9 of a municipality, Chapter 11 under Reconstruction, Chapter 15 claiming their insolvency. They're also running their little lodge scam under their charters, under the Freemasons, under a 501c3 as a religious corporation and taking in all monetary value as gifts and donations. I mean, it goes on and on and on. They've got themselves well protected in so many different ways, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I love the 42. That's why I love it. I'm telling y'all, I love it.
You can expose the 42. You can expose all what was just relayed to you in the 42.
Yes, all you need is everything showed it was a violation. They never fail. I'm telling y'all. If you did your own,
Are you referring to a section 1983?
yes.
Okay.
That is what you use against them, but you have to go in your own case and read your case to see where your violations are. People get attorneys and don't even look at the case. I keep telling y'all, I had one lady, she had a warrant, a search warrant for her in a county. Her attorney, that this lady basically, she went to jail because when they caught her, she was not in the county where they were supposed to have caught her at. So, I don't know what part of it, but we'll try it. But so, with saying that, once I was looking at the case, I don't know if you all heard this story before, but I'm going to say it again. So, I went to court with her. I told her to tell her attorney that I was her niece and I wanted to hear. He told her I couldn't hear because I was not his client. So, I had already told her to ask him, could she have a copy of the case? He told her no. So, what I did was handed her my purse and said, I'm going to the ladies' room. I'll be right back. But inside the purse was the recorder. My recorder I had cut it on. I instead of going to the ladies' room, I went down to the clerical court, got a copy of the case. That's when I found out that the search warrant was not perfected, and they had her in the whole county. So then, the man was just lying to her, but this lady ended up getting some time, and she had paid him $7,000. She owed him $3,000 more. He was gonna let her go whether or not she had the whole 10 or not, you know.
I remember this case. I recall you talking about this.
I was going to say another thing here. These warrants, they're all fake. They're getting them done within, 15, 30 minutes, what have you, because they're doing it internally. They have to go out of jurisdiction and get this shit done. Mm-hmm. And in a lot of cases, they have to go through the Treasury, and they're not doing it.
Yeah, they're not doing a lot of stuff. Parker O'Neill, what are they doing to your kid?
I think I talked to you before, and I don't know if you were going to look at her case, but she was arrested, and they charged her with murder, and she came out guilty, and then they gave her a new trial. It's not yet, but I asked for the entire case. When she was taken fully injured, and they're trying not to let me have it, even though I have power of attorney over her. Right now, they just said, they just sent me a notice. If you want the case, it's $700.
What?
Yes, that's what they just sent me an email. The case, 4 years old, right? The trial was done. They tried to arrest us, intimidate us, kidnap us.
I was going to say, there's a thing from I got to think what it is, though. It's from the clerk's office, for example, that they have to set back money once they have began a accusation or a case.
She's the girl that had a baby in jail. I don't know about the guy. I talked to you, really? With me, you talked to. Oh, okay. So I just want you guys to know. She had the baby, yes. She never touched the guy or anything. She did that because they wanted her to sell drugs. And in the beginning, she was totally 10 years of this guy stalking her and stuff, and they wouldn't do nothing to him because he's out of Mexico, I guess. And he's a truck driver. So they wouldn't do the restraining order or anything. And she shot the ground. And guess what? The bullet killed him. I can't believe it either. Ricochet, bam. Yes. Because he was trying to get in her house. And I showed the attorney the evidence, the broken window where he had broken in. He took her pocketbook, her phone. And so after I left, he pretended to be gone. I guess he waited for us to leave. And he came back like at 3 a.m. And she told him to leave. And you know what? Oh my God, I told them, you know what? You guys sabotaged all this evidence. How about the Ring doorbell camera can catch her saying, what if I hit an artery? Okay, you'll live. They said she was mocking him. They put her on the stand. She do any of that. That was because I didn't know if he was shocked. I was only trying to scare him from coming into my house. She didn't want to testify. Let me tell you something. These attorneys, they're demons, okay?
Yeah,
He was
so listen. I'm sorry for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me make a long story short.
Yeah.
You're still in state court, correct?
Yes.
Miss, listen.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get in the class. You need to get a copy of the case, and you need to remove the case and help your daughter.
Okay.
You need to learn how to get. I don't care if you get a group of friends. The class is only $125. It's usually $650. Get in that class once a week or so. There's going to be like a telegram where everybody can get on. If you having issues, they can talk about what they need to do, what's the best filing, how to respond. So y'all can help yourself because I'm not going to be here.
Okay. They're trying to give her a new trial. They said that malicious prosecution or a clear error. He was introducing evidence that he never introduced. When the closing arguments came in, he tried to sneak in 4 pieces of evidence to discredit us and get us arrested. When that didn't work, the judge granted a new trial. And now I want to attack the case like you're not bringing any of that stuff in here. It's all erased, tampered, destroyed. So, yeah. Can you put a link for your class?
Sure. Yeah, right now it's $125. Regular price $650. Everybody say I should make it for $1,500. People that's been taking it are calling me and say it should be more than what's on the site. Yes.
Hey, my daughter's in here. She's like, did you tell them how they deleted all the evidence? I said, I sure did. They deleted evidence. They were able to give testimony on deleted evidence.
It ain't deleted. It's somewhere.
Yeah, but they said that it was deleted.
I know exactly. Listen, I don't even know you. I'm going to tell you what the evidence is. In the Bureau of Criminal Investigations in your state.
Oh, really? Okay.
I solved 2 murder cases like that.
Just can't believe it. I mean, all the evidence was destroyed.
No,
all of it.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, yeah, okay. I know. You just told me now. I'm gonna
No, it wasn't. Like I just said, I solved a 20-year murder case and a one for 35 years by going to get the evidence.
Okay.
They did not destroy the evidence. Y'all don't believe that?
It's called Bureau of Criminal Investigation?
Yep. Just look up your state might have a different name, but they come after every crime scene. You can go to your state. I believe the Attorney General's office will be able to tell you how you get information from a crime scene. Matter of fact, what state are you in? What state are you in?
In Miami, Florida has the case.
Okay, hold on for 1 second. Hold on.
Yeah, they did the same shit to me too, and that's under spoliation of evidence. And when they bring that to the court, that's fraud upon the court.
I let them know. I let that attorney that they
Uh-oh.
keep appointing. I said, hey, all that evidence, I'm not stupid. You erased it or they erased it and it's damaged.
They do it every time. They're
Yeah.
just dickheads.
Now, basically, they talk to you like what you're going to do about it.
Right.
Yeah,
Because they know they've got a monopoly going.
right.
Okay, in Florida, it's called the FDLE, Primary Bureau Responsible for Crime Scenes.
Okay. And I can do like a request, like what's that called? Freedom of Information Act request?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Hold on for a second.
I even did one of those on mine, and they gave me the brother. I know his brother. I think he is a or was a judge. He was a high up judge somehow.
California.
I remember.
He was a reptilian.
Reptilian.
Yes. Gene was
Oh,
a reptilian. And the only reason why I know, because he ended up telling me. He told me out his own mouth because I noticed something and I asked him.
It says your live content is flagged. Speech and hateful, but
Nobody said nothing.
What
That's
the heck?
right. They always sending something about my live.
Oh my God.
Now they talking about remove Sean. You didn't even say anything. I am not removing Sean. Sean didn't say nothing wrong.
Is that
I was the one that was talking. That's the killing part.
Wow, is that an
Tried
automated
really
thing?
to.
Is that
I've been
automated? Is it automated? Is that
I
like
think
something
it is.
a bot?
Yeah, it gotta be. Mm-hmm. They always come in here and mess with my stuff. Leave my stuff alone. Go away.
Chris accounts and the bid bond, the payment bond before leading? Were you exposed to
No,
that?
I only work
You
with
really on the
cases,
streets?
you know, like how would you put it? I work with cases at 20,000 and up.
Okay, yeah.
So,
But
so
I
they're
quit.
running QSIP numbers. Did you ever see the cage code QSIP numbers they're running and so forth? How they about everything.
Well, what I would, this is how I used to fight them. I would go to sam.gov and then I would get their Duns and Cage real name, you know, the one that makes all the money. And then I would go and do a counterclaim under their other name, their business name. And they would I would give them all an injunction to stop the case dead. And it worked because now you're going after their business side. You know how she was saying public and private?
Mm-hmm.
So you go after public and private, and I didn't have to go to a higher court. What I did was I would record my findings and write my response, record it at the clerk's office, and then I would hand it to them. And I got an injunction, like any police station that could reach your house, or, you know, Ewan County, your city police, the judge, the attorney that was fighting against you, the banks, and then counterclaim them. So the judge, he can't move forward. The only person you can't give an injunction to is the clerk. So because I know the clerks are the ones who are really harming you. Like I've seen them put criminal case, like say you're okay, you don't have nothing, put a warrant out on you. They'll put, criminal charges that you've never had. They'll put it in the computer to mess you up, but it's based on their whole clique. But I'll let you know this. The attorneys and judges, they don't commingle with the clerk at all. As a matter of fact, they're not friends with the clerks at all because, of all the dirty deeds that they're doing. Yeah, they can't. Right. But I don't know how we can do that now since they took away, like they're not using that DUNS number. They still have them though. I did look it up and they still have it.
It's called a UEI or
right.
Some forms I think LEI or something. It's a unique entity identifier.
Right, but see, I think what happened is, I have this document and it gives you the whole timeline of everything they did. And in the end, what they did is when we had that hurricane hit New Jersey or New York, 55 Water Street, where they keep all the treaties, everything. So it got flooded.
DTCC.
Everything was damaged. So what happened is I know they did that on purpose.
They say it. Yep.
Yeah, on purpose, because you know who took over? This company called Seed & Co. And that
it's all in one. It's DTC and DTCC and Seed and CEDE and Company. Yep. They hold everything from cradle to the grave on everything.
Right. Right, everything. And then what happened is that, the treaties and stuff, the land titles, everything. So it went to Seed & Co. Who controls that? They won't link it directly to the Vatican. So it's someone below the Vatican, but in the end, the one that's holding Seed & Co., the Vatican controls them. So it all goes back to the church. And all the
they're claiming to be trustees, right? The Seed Company.
Right. But it's really, they're under the control of the Vatican too. I had to do a lot of research, trust me. It's not easy, but right now our treaties and stuff that each state had, or if they purchased the state, all that is gone. It's all belonging to holding company, Seed & Co. That's why you see the Vatican, how they're accepting all the religious organizations.
Yeah.
They're retraining them actually right now as we speak. All the religious organizations
to combine us, people like us.
Okay, if that's the case, then they're actually now in friendship with the churches because church and state have to be separate. They can't share the same space. I would go ahead and whatever paperwork you use public law 97-280. That there is no higher law than the law of God. And when you come in equity, they got nothing. They have nothing.
Well, look at the courthouses. Look at the plaques on those. Those are the Freemasons plaques. They have on every single one of them.
Yeah.
Freemasons are listed under as a church.
Well, it's a violation of your religious belief. And at any point, through this identity theft, because that's what it is. It's identity theft.
Or aggravated identity theft, really.
Or you can add whatever you intentional and stringent. You can add whatever you want in on that. But it's the bottom line is there was no consent.
Mm-hmm.
There was no meeting of the minds, no voluntary contractual agreements. We can go on and on. You're cutting out.
Are you familiar with?
You're breaking up.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know the
So are you
prayer
familiar
for
with the prayer for relief?
Yeah, that's under subrogation. If you look up subrogation in the Bible, it's under the days of rogation, the days of prayer.
Well, I actually posted that on my back page.
Well, last year was Jubilee. So I had my family go out and say, okay, this is the year of Jubilee. you have to wipe out all the debts. You know, they would hang up on us. I was like, oh, you people working for the devil. I know, because we would tell them you're supposed to wipe out.
You people working for the devil.
Yeah, you know, but I've taken down a DCF office in Miami. What I did was, when they kidnap your kids, what you do is you'll tell them that you're their co-creators. You put your first name only, and you're not going to use the child's name on the birth certificate. You'll say, and I'm in referencing, and you're gonna, like, I'll give you an example. And the child is known as Junior, even though his name isn't really, you know, Junior is part of his name, but it's not. So you can't use the birth certificate name. And then I'll put in, and anyone who has a higher authority than the co-creators of their offspring come forward now, or forever hold your silence, and I'm giving you 24 hours to return my property back to me. So I did that for my daughter, and the judge said, don't speak, come back Monday. Monday, they gave her back her son, okay? And the state was furious, but he can't tell them, you know, they were like, this is ridiculous. You can't use that name. See, one of the rules that the clerk has, and I'll tell you what it is, your name cannot be the same as the one on the paper. That means your name, your personal name, cannot be the same as the one on the birth certificate. So,
well, if you notice, the only one they can charge is the last comma, first, middle.
Yeah.
Put in jail or what have you. It's the last comma, first, middle.
Yeah.
Way.
And basically, so my daughter, when she was in there, she kept telling the judge, hey, that's not my name, that's not me. And basically, she kept saying, that's sovereign citizen material, I'm not going to have this. She kept banging on the gavel. And she said, well, who is the surety for this case? The judge was furious now. And I told my daughter, you know, you're not really ready for this. She's not, because, you know, she had a head injury when they took her in, and she was never treated for that head injury.
There is a process called next to kin, and that allows you to, and actually all roads lead to Rome. Why I say, why don't you come up? And hey,
forensic earlier.
Yeah, pull up why I say come on up. But yeah, there are many ways to stop this, and you being a clerk already have a few of them, but they've changed a lot of stuff. And yes,
they
the
did.
Dunn and Bradstreet numbers are still available.
Yeah, they are. They're still available. And I learned from the Dun and Bradstreet people that a lot of these companies can't change their Dun and Bradstreet.
Oh, well, you're correct, but you are aware that the judge has one, the courthouse has one, the police station have one. They all have a Dun and Brad, which means that they're what? A corporation for profit?
Right.
Okay, so then you're in the public. So, you know, if the 10 Commandments have thou shalt take no other God, comma, before me, then they are acting as your master. That would be a conflict of your religious decorum, unbelief.
Right.
And that would violate, and, you know, you can choose to be a part of this, or you can.
You don't have to be. What I use is their copyright. You know how on the bottom of their website, I don't know for every state, but it says copyright like Florida legislators. So I'll take 3 sections of their publishings and I'll circle the copyright, and I'll tell them, based on the copyright laws, I'm not allowed to partake in anything that is copywritten. And then I show them the 3 websites, and I circle it. I attach it to my affidavit, and I, put that into the case as a counterclaim that, I'm suing them back, counterclaiming them as corporations.
That's what forensic is talking about. Yeah. And that's what using 42, 1983, and 85.
Right. But you have to notice everything, even evidence was supposed to be recorded, but in that they took her with that head injury. They took all the evidence. They even took her picture of her to get in her phone, okay, without a warrant, and destroyed all.
It's not destroyed. It's not destroyed.
Oh yeah. You tell me it's not destroyed. But
And
also,
even if so, if she say it's her word against theirs, if they
Right.
mess up one time and violate